Miss Joey, take us away.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me get you started.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for being here as we give Miss Joey a moment. We wanted to start back this initiative that Miss Joey started last year with grant writing and just helping each other, be progressive with our community work because we know community work is hard work and we put a lot of money out of our pockets into it. So once we learn a few grant writing strategies, I promised myself I need to write at least one this year. I wrote one last year, and I want to be successful this year of writing a successful grant where I get some type of funding because we get tired of just begging, right? Begging all the time. When we have grant money, we could use it for what we want to use it for was delineated within our organizations, our nonprofit organizations. We have goals, mission, and visions, and we want to make sure that we secure those goals, visions, and mission. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Joey of Collective Sisterhood. Thank you.
All right, welcome everyone that took the time that find it not to be robbery to come on. So I'm bringing to you grant writing 101, and I traveled this journey along with my um, peers and counterparts, Ruth Jean Noel, Tawana, and Niami, and also Shantae. And I hope I'm not missing anyone. But during this process, we started this mission of trying to help one another so that we won't be like isolated and lone rangers. So without further ado, we're going to go and begin. So what is exactly grant writing? You will come up with this dream or vision to start a great nonprofit or come up with a business idea that you want to do, and it will hit you at possibly 3 o'clock in the morning, and you will say, "Hey, I got to get this done. What can I do to get this stuff started?" Right? So anytime that you birth something, you want to see it come to life because we know when we were little kids, we start with school, going to school every day, and we go there until we complete the mission. Let me see here. All right. Okay. So how do you start? So when you're starting to write a grant, you have to tell yourself and ask yourself a key question, because sometimes people come up to me and they say, "Hey, can you write a grant? I want to write a grant. I need somebody to help me write a grant." And sometimes it's just not that easy to just go and just write a grant because you have an idea. It takes a lot of moving parts. It's like a puzzle. So before seeking funding, you must have your paperwork in order. You have to be prepared for an opportunity. And you don't want to approach the grant writing process from the other way around, where you are scrambling to meet the needs of the funding opportunity at the last minute. So, most of the times when we hear about funding, you would hear something hit your email or somebody say, "Hey, it's a grant. You got so many days to do it or 2 days to do it." And that's not that's not truly meeting the needs of the people you're serving when you do that. So preparation will help you spend time creating the most impactful application possible. So it's very critical that you plan in advance. And sometimes it may take you a whole year before you get the concept paper that you desire. So um, you must know one of the first things is very critical. You must know your mission and vision statement. So, you ever been in a room with people and you feel so proud of yourself that you have started your own business? I can recall when I started Collective Sisterhood, and I was just so energized by telling people, "Hey, I got my organization and it's about promoting Black and brown people." And hey, that was happy for me, but if it was somebody else and that wasn't their interest, then what would make them interested in wanting to put money into me or supporting me? So you have to know what your mission and vision is. So when we started making our mission and vision statement, it had to be two sentences long, telling who, what, where, and one thing. So, and you have to remember, like, I don't know if you remember yours, but mine is it's a collection of organizations joining together to serve, to educate, and promote social welfare in our communities. So, and then our vision is to unite gifts and fight deprivation. So it's very simple that I'm a collaborator and I work with other nonprofit organizations or businesses to help move humanity forward. So every grant will ask you um, of the date of your incorporation, the date of your status, if you're for profit or not profit, because you have to meet the criteria, your story of how you started your organization and how you came to be, and also how do you propose to help to impact or improve the initiative that they are funding. So you may say, hey, you know what? I want to help little boys because a lot of them are getting shot up and they don't have anybody. Okay, that's good, but it takes a little bit more with telling the story about your why. And most people that have their story have been impacted by something. They have a lesson learned or they have lived through something that made them go into action. And usually those people that have lived through something and they're believable that they went through something, people want to be connected to it. And also they want to feel um, connected to how you were able to be resilient or what do you plan to do to keep being strong to help society. Because some people don't have the fortitude or the energy to make those decisions and be resilient like that. So, the next critical thing that I've learned along the journey is that you need to have a list of documents. Okay, you need to know what documents you need in order to be seen as a entity or be in compliance with the grantee. Okay, the grantor. So some of these core organizational documents, that's what we call a non-negotiable, is that, and what I did was centered to Florida, but if you're living somewhere else, it's very critical. And so I try to make it as simple as possible. If I'm missing something, we'll have a Q&A at the end. If anybody have any wisdom or any extra information, you can feel free to add on. So you need an IRS 501c3 determination letter. And you get that letter once you complete your application to do your 1023 and also to, you register through the SunBiz, right? And once you do those two documents, you will get a determination letter that says, hey, congratulations, you are approved to be official nonprofit. We recognize you as meeting the minimum criteria of being a nonprofit. And in whatever state or you are in, you have to have articles of incorporations. Okay. So usually when you're doing your request to, register as a initial fresh nonprofit, you will get some articles of incorporations. And then you would have to go and carry it a little further to get your articles of incorporations in compliance with the state of Florida, whatever state you're in. So you have to make sure that you have the conflict of interest clause. There's certain things that you must be in compliance with. And then the next thing on the list is a Florida certification certificate of status, which is a SUMPIS. So if you are active, meaning that you paid your dues, if you have incorporated in the end of the year and your your renewal is 12/31, then each time at the end of the year you need to pay the fees, which is usually $87 if you're a nonprofit. If you are not for profit, the fees varies depending on how much income you generated. And then you need to have also an FDACS, which is a Florida Charitable Solicitation Registration. And this is what you would get, that tax exempt paper, which is no fees. The great thing about having a nonprofit is that most of your fees for renewal for tax existing and all that stuff is free. Okay. So you fill out this simple form, you send it off, and then you get the tax exempt. And then you have to have an EIN. And your EIN letter is like your social security. So you do these two processes in the beginning so that you can have your business registered with its own social security number, or we don't call it social security number, but we call it a EIN number, a tax exempt number that you can, solicitate for funds and be approved to do that, and they can, you qualify for it. Then you need a UEI number for state and federal grants. So if you are in SAMS.gov, you can apply for that. It's like a lengthy process, but you can do it. And then we also recommend that you do SAMS.gov registration because you see this mass list of federal grants and state grants. So that is a multi-layered process. So you need to be initially registered at SAMS.gov, and then you have to be registered to do the other piece of it as well so that they can connect, because it's two systems of portals that you have to go through in order to get a grant on a federal level. And then you have to have a list of board of directors, their names, their titles, and what their affiliations, meaning where the titles is in there. You have to do that. And in the gist of that, because sometimes your some biz will tell who your board members are, but they want to know who they are and if they're active, if they live locally, and because they can get two and two makes one. And then sometimes if you have started your dream and you have one part of your nonprofit done, and that means that you have the name, but you haven't finished the complete registration, then you may need a fiscal sponsor agreement. You may need to have a nonprofit that's fully qualified to, request for grants and stuff, that they have all the paperwork in order to be your sponsor and say, hey, and usually what they charge you is like a percentage or a fee for being a sponsor, because what they have to do is process all of your invoices, have the insurance to cover you and all of those things that you're not paying for, so they need to be able to make those, get their needs met and pay for those things. So those are, I know it's going a little fast, and I want you to just take a moment to look at it, and then we can go to the next slide. Okay? So IRS, and some of this stuff will repeat itself. So financial documents. Even if you have just started a business, it's required that you show your financial documents and show that you have a budget plan or some type of idea about what you're going to do with the dollars, how you're going to use them, and what are the next steps for it. So, with the financial documents, you need a current year operating budget, meaning that if you just start, you may say, hey, I don't pay much. I don't have a place to have my business. So you can operate from your house. So if you know the calculations, it's a percentage. So you need to have a current year operating budget. So then you need to have your prior year statement. So when I first started Collective, and I started with a simple spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet where I just itemize. It's just like if you're doing household budget or anything, If I spent money on a card, business card, I wrote that down. If somebody gave me a $10 donation, I wrote that down. If I spent money, I deducted it from that. And so I kept a running tab of that. So when I started and went to open a bank account, I had 6,400 and something dollars in there to show that I was really intentional about being a good steward of what um over the nonprofit and the gift that God gave me to serve community. So you can even start that even if you don't have a budget and you knew applying for a grant, you just say, hey, zero budget. But they do want you to draft one, and you have permission to do an assumption budget of what you would like to do with the money. Okay, in some instances when you're applying for the grant. And you need your most recent 990 form. Okay. So with your 990 form, that's when you go to irs.gov and you apply for that. If you make under 50,000 a year, you have to do those annually. If you don't do those annually, you won't be eligible to apply for the grant. Okay. So you have to do those annually to do your 990 forms. And then we have next a profit and loss. So in the gist of doing a profit, having written down all of your budgets and stuff, your costs, you have to be able to show if you lost money or you gain money. And you can do this if you don't have money, you can go through QuickBooks, you can get a bookkeeper, and they know how to write these forms. And that shows sustainability and that you also have the ability to, manage your organization, that you have some bandwidth to know what to do. And so, and if when you get a little more comfortable and have money more, then you do an audit of your financial view. You want to be able to have a financial audit of the organization because this then leads to you getting more money. So in order for you to apply for the big um, money and then be able to leave your job and do the thing that you love to do, you have to be able to have a financial audit to show that there's transparency, that there's no commingling of the funds, there's no mismanagement of using your personal account or using something else to. Okay. And then you have in-kind support lists. So you want to keep, if you don't have only but one person in your organization, it's very critical that you document your volunteers. That's like money and space. If you're using free space, it's very critical to document all of those things. That's what they look for. So the overview of grant writing process. So first of all, you have to write with the reviewer in mind. So whatever the grant is, you have to write with that in mind. Whatever their vision and mission and if they're saying, hey, I have this RFP, and that means that's a I think it's I can't say it now, but it's an announcement. I'm gonna put it in simple terms. It's an announcement, a grant announcement of funds being able to be offered to everyone so that they can bid and put their grant proposals in to be able to apply for the grant to get it, to be rewarded. So then you need to follow the directions. So what they will do on occasions is give you these questions to say, do you live in Vermont? Do you do direct service? And if you answer any of those questions wrong, then you're ineligible to apply for that grant. So it's best that you read it first, follow instructions, and if you don't know, then you need to ask somebody that have a better understanding than you so that you can get it right so you won't be able to miss that opportunity. And the next block says, don't underestimate the time that it takes to craft a strong proposal. So some people say, hey, what's taking you so long? Unless you are immaculate grant writer, even if you write the highest proposal, sometimes it's relationships. You have to be able to take time to understand what other people are doing, what they are looking for, because remember, there's for in one every one eye, like they say, from one man is 10 women. Well, guess what? For one ideal, it's 10 more ideals just like it. So it's a competitive market, but just know that whatever you do, no one can do it like you can. So you have to put a special sauce on what you're doing and watch and observe what you're doing so that you can be effective and impactful with it. So then you want to highlight your strengths and not your needs when you're writing. Because most people, when they write grants, they say, I want the $1 million. I want the most money I can get. Because, honey, I'm going to do this and I need to get paid. It's true you need to get paid, but you are not more important than the people you serve. I'm not trying to tell you not to be self-preservation, but you're not more important than the people you serve. That's the way the funder looks at it. And they want you to be charitable. And then the next one is involve those you serve in the design of your program. So if you ever heard of evidence-based practice, it's that comes from the notion that if you treat people well and give good customer service, people tell you what they like or what they don't like about a situation, even when they're applying for food stamps. Some of them would say, hey, you got to bring this paper. I don't like dealing with this worker because this worker is not nice. So you know that if you write in a grant and you offering a service to community, you want to make sure you have good customer service skills because ain't nobody's going to come to you if you mean and acting out of character. So you want to make sure you do it right. And then the next thing, and then you have to increase your skills by reading successful grants. Okay? And then you have to demonstrate that you have designed the most cost-effective solution possible. So most people with money, they don't want to waste money and they want you to really be intentional with your dollars and your ideas and your impact in community. And you have to be persistent, okay? Because sometimes you fall down, but you have to get back up. All right. So what do most funders almost always ask for? So they ask for like specific data and stats. You know, they like to see that. They like to see people work together, partnership letters, school, libraries, clinic, whatever you doing, even though you think nobody's looking, you need that support. You know what you do and you have to document it. Trauma informed language, you have to know that this is a trauma informed world that we live in. People come in with all types of losses and different things and everybody's different. And then you have to have a sustainability plan. So even after that money is gone, what you're going to do to sustain that program? What are you going to do to keep it going? And equity and access statement. So they always sometimes have this um clause that they want to know who is the most vulnerable population that you're serving, who is impacted, and how can you help them and reach them since they don't have access. Measurable outcomes, meaning that they have to be simple. So measurable outcomes, we'll go over that a little in depth. If we do another one, we have a segment where we talk about outcomes. How many percentage of a person of the population of 100 will complete the application or be screened or will be intake. So those are some, or will complete the program. So those are some examples that you have to think about. And if you are, I just want to focus on these narratives. So when you write a concept paper or have a narrative, you want to have these written once so you can reuse them. So you have to be real sharp on what you're doing, who you're serving, why this issue matters in the county, and what's the cultural relevance, because you know that demographically, if you have a majority of people that's affected by TPS and that they need some type of solution and that this is a crisis on the rise, then you want to talk about why. If it's a whole bunch of Hispanic people that culturally can't speak the English language, then you want to say the why, because there's 95% of Hispanics living in Miami-Dade County. If you want to address the marginalized folks culturally, right? Whether it be black, um, indigenous, LGBTQ, whoever the population is. It's not, it's a one size fit all. It can fit in any category. You have to show the relevance about why, okay? You want to talk about success stories. So when a person come up and to tell you that, hey, I enjoyed that program, that helped me. I enjoyed class today. Ask them if they want to do a testimonial. Ask them if that would help out with the program. And then also ask, how is the funding strengthened by Florida communities. So you're going to tell about what impact and how it helped like that. All right, so recommendations for next steps. Recommendations for next steps. So what we usually do is that you make a grant folder. So you get plastic covers and you slide your paperwork inside, right? So this would include your article of incorporation, your bylaws, your 501c determination letter, EIN, all of the things that surrounds your business, okay? Your tax exempt letters, you need to have everything to that business in a binder so you don't have to be scrambling because they're going to ask you for these things. You may need it for this one document. You may not need it right now, but you'll be able to find it. And then how much money your org generate, right? So profit and loss statement, you need that in a bag. So even if you can't afford it all year round and you struggled, then you need to invest in that service with someone else and let them get access to your bank account, that business account, and let them run the numbers and produce you that document because that will suffice a lot of stuff if you don't have an audit sometimes in some instances. And then also do your program narratives: who, what, when, where, why. And it's very critical that you register in all of these listed items below here: Sunbiz, Miami-Dade vendor portal. You have to open a bank account. It has to be separated from your personal account, and you need to have a voided blank check ready on standby. Because in the event that they call you and give you a letter, hey, congratulations, Taisha, you have been awarded this money. Congratulations, Sister Ruth, you've been awarded this money. Or Taisha, Fred, Tawana, anybody on this Zoom, then you have to have those documents ready to go to be uploaded. And then they will drop the money in the bank because they want to make sure that you have an account set out just for that. All right. How are we doing with time? I just want to, how are we doing with time?
We're doing great with time for the Q&A, and then to also let everyone introduce themselves and the business that they have, and we could
Okay.
do the Q&A session, and then
Okay.
we'll get ready for the next session. And all people who are coming on the Zoom will be admitted one by one. So I do apologize for that again. Thank you all, and we can continue. Thank you, Miss Joey.
Okay. So this is an over, I won't go into the concept paper. Myself, Sister Ruth, Niami, and Shantae did a concept paper for a group that we were doing, Women Supporting Women. It was a big hit. And so we designed this, and this was some of the critical parts of it. So I'm going to show you a little sample before I get into any of that, and then I'm gonna go to the Q&A so we can introduce ourselves. So a sample of this now, if you're doing you have to do a synopsis. So in this example, Women Supporting Women is an initiative that support women who have been affected by trauma. A collaboration of partners in the community will be addressing the wellness components that are critical and improving quality of life issues faced by victims who are made vulnerable to repeated crisis situations. It took us a while to get to that statement right there. Okay? So we noticed that in the community that there were some disparities around women, and in that circle that we were and Tawana came in there too. In that circle that we held for those the space that we held, we noticed that a lot of women had dynamics going on with their kids, financially, with their wounds, with their mindset, and they were not, and they just wasn't in a good space. And so we found that the solution to our community would be that we had providers that can do community care with them. Okay. And so we had designed a system that could promote wellness for the children as well as the women going there. And some of that included some pampering and all of that stuff. Okay. So we had worked long and hard on this grant. And we were helping the visionaries of this grant, which was Viviente and Keisha at that time. But we put our special sauce in there because we believed in uplifting community and helping uplift the voices of women, marginalized women. So in that thing, we talked about who, what, when, and where. Women supporting women, a array of service tailored specifically to addressing issues in women and children. Women will be provided an opportunity to receive assistance with having access and getting needed resources available to them and their families, engaging in individual group wellness wraparound sessions. So everybody came with their gift and talent about what they wanted to do to pour into that population. These services are designed to help women find their voice, verbalize their individualized problems, and to use their inner tools to resolve them. That's what we said. And so the goal of this project is to impact 200 women and 200 children. So we're very specific with our outcomes and what we had forecast. So, and then we put our special sauce to it. Our services are not no other because we provide options that are uncommon to the current systematic services that barely address basic needs for those desperately seeking assistance in destitute situations. And then we said that women supporting women's solution is addressing the needs of the targeted population will be to take an innovative, holistic approach using companies of passion. See how we described our partners that would increase the desire in people to live healthier lifestyles by taking time to reflect and to participate in wellness activities. We knew that meeting there, people were restored when they came out. Even it was so powerful that even when people didn't have no prayers to send up, they just threw their hands up, and the sisters supported another sister. So it was very impactful, a good time to be alive. And we were taught new traditional things. Sister Ruth had taught us restorative justice talking piece. And then also, you got to always remember to connect with the people of interest in your funders. Okay. Introduce yourself and ask for help and understanding how you can qualify. If you don't know the people that's the fund, get to know them. Go to a network, and do not be too ashamed, embarrassed to show yourself. Okay, you have to build your confidence to go and show up, or take a buddy. Advertising your good work, not community collaboration, and DTT two D Derek Denzel Days Foundation does a good job. FamSage does a good job with advertising. We always tag each other in the posts, and Taisha do a good is so that we can advertise who we are. And so do the work. Even if you don't have any funding, do the work. People will always recognize the good work that you do and always support your vision, mission, and good works. Funders will always ask what impact and how many people that your organization have served. Word of mouth is not good enough, so you have to grow with making your impact, doing your impact report, keep good records, who you're serving, with testimonial. Be consistent, use your partners, and there's no competition or big egos or big eyes in good work. So this is an example of some grant funding sources. This is dated, but I just was showing you how they have deadlines, right? And these are some fundings that you can look at. The Children's Trust, awesome grant for imprints. I've gotten some of these grants and I have failed a lot of them, but some of us on this line has been very successful. All right. And so we talked about the concept paper. I'm going to speed up a little bit here. Now, I'm going to pause now for a review and answering questions. So I'm going to stop sharing now. All right. Do I still have people here? Okay. All right. Good. All right. So I know it's kind of brief. I want to keep it under an hour. So I would like to take a moment to let us introduce ourselves. And if we have any questions that you want to ask, you can raise your hand or come off mute.
Fred Christian, founder and president, hashtag impact / corporate name at Impact Media Inc. We are a voice for the voiceless. We advocate for those who have no health care, prevention of gun violence, and also we advocate for affordable housing and any human needs. Our motto is we are a voice for the voiceless. It goes from social media to the people, educating, informing, and inspiring you, and hosting meetings such as in person the Weekend Summit and online. Thank you.
Then you can call on the next person for the introduction. If you would not like to share, you can just say pass. So call on the next person to introduce himself, Fred.
Okay. I call on Tawana to introduce herself.
Good evening, everybody. Tawana Akins here, founder of A Better Me and Community Collaboration Exchange. We do what we can to shift mindsets of our young people and our seniors. And I'm complete, and I call on Taisha.
Good evening, everyone. Taisha Anthony. I'm the founder of the Reverend James and Betty Bush Family Foundation. I also have an LLC, Anthony Professional Services, and I am starting a new business venture with a partner. It's going to be called My Grandma's House, which is an extension of the Bush Foundation, and it's going to work alongside the court system to support families in need. So that's me. I'm sorry, and I call on Miss Nicole Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Jackson, retired Miami-Dade County Public School teacher of 29 years. I am one of the directors of A Better Me, an active member, and also a member of CCE, Community Collaboration Exchange. And I'm complete, and I call on Ruth.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Ruth Ifakemi. Joey, congratulations. This is beautiful. Thank you, Tawana. Thank you, everyone, for holding this down. Joey is such a great leader and such a great writer and amazing wisdom keeper. So I am the founder and executive director of FUMSAGE. And FUMSAGE is a healing justice organization. We are based in Miami, but really now across Florida. Our mission is to provide families across the African diaspora with cultural and wellness tools to take care of themselves, their families, and their communities. From Sage in Haitian Creole, it means midwife. So what we'll say is midwives catch babies, and from Sage, we catch communities. So that is who I am. Thank you for hosting this. And I'm gonna pass it to Oshuntola, Tasha Dixon.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Tasha Lewis, and I'm the founder and executive director of Worth, which means Women's Oasis for Rejuvenating Therapies and Holistic Health Healing. Um, it's a nonprofit that is dedicated to providing support for women experiencing postpartum depression and related mental health challenges, in which I wrote a postpartum workbook that is out now to help and assist women suffering or going through their postpartum phase and help them get through it. And I also own a candle shop, which is Soy Candles by Tasha, in which I make candles for also for mental health therapy. And let me see, who else can I pass it to? Who hasn't went? Violetta, did I say your name right? Violetta.
Yes, yes, I am here.
Yes.
I'm in
Okay.
on the traffic. It's okay. Thank you so much. Besides that, I'm glad to meet you. I could join you because I've been in under these conditions once, and I need to learn a little bit how to make my recovery still. All right. Thank you. My name is Violeta. I am such doing my practice as a social worker. My master, my supervisor is Master. I, I,
And who would you pass it to, Violetta?
Aileen or what's the name? Give me another name. I'm driving.
Okay, Eileen, if you're able to speak, would you like to introduce yourself?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Aileen. I am new to all this. I feel so blessed to be here with you guys tonight and listening a little about each and every one of you guys and learning a little more about all of this. I am the Taisha's business partner for my grandma's house. And I feel very blessed to be here and learn a little more about all of this.
Welcome. And who would you like to pass it to? We have Jenny, I see, and I think Jenny.
Okay, Jimmy's the winner then.
So, Jenny, you can introduce yourself. Seems
Jenny's
It
like
looks
probably
like
on.
something.
she's speaking, but you can't hear her.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Jenny, put it in the chat and we could come back to it so we could get to Q&A, Miss Joey. We got like 8 minutes
Okay.
before
Okay.
the content creators, gonna
All
stay
right.
on just to share
Okay.
ideas.
Okay. So, do we have any questions? Jenny is a student from Barry University. She's interning. Okay, I see her. Okay, so any questions?
When
Oh,
when when we'll get with them with the data, the next one, like I said, you all come back. I promise it'll be more secure. We try to leave our community Zooms open for when we're sharing information. So I promise you it won't be like that that part that happened today next time. But this was very great, Miss Joey. I loved everything about it. So hopefully next time we're on, we can share some of our missions and visions and all the strategies that you put forth to see how we are progressing through what you have stated today. I wanted to share the Zoom, but I'm not because of what was said throughout the Zoom. So I'm going to
Okay.
see if my video guy could clean up all that mess out of it, and then I'll
Okay.
share it. But we will post the next date soon as Miss Joey and I get together and discuss. We will have the next date so we could chunk it and make sure we are all getting through this and hopefully write one of the grants this year. Um, and I'm complete.
Okay. I think Thais, you had a question?
I do. I just wanted to give a shout out to you, Miss Joey and Miss Tawana. Last night, I think many of you know I do a radio show every first and third Monday on WMBM 1490. And we had the Omega Sci-Fi Zeta Nunu chapter on there last night. So they shot out both of you last night on the radio.
Oh,
So that just shows that the good work that you do through the community when they were talking about community collaboration, exchange, and partnerships that they do in the community. Both of you were specifically mentioned. So it's an honor and a pleasure to work beside both of you. And then I know Tawana as far as the overall audio, but Miss Joey, if you don't mind sharing the slideshow on the PowerPoint
yes.
presentation, that was a lot of
Yes.
really good information. I did put a couple of notes in the chats. Like I know when I've applied for some grants, they've asked not only for the board of directors information, but they also wanted their CVs or their resumes. And then I mentioned the 990M, but then you mentioned that on the next slide. And on one grant that I did, in addition to the 501c3, they also wanted to see that I had the actual Florida exemption from the Department of Revenue. So once I was able to get my 501c3, I had to submit all of that to the Department of Revenue to actually get the exemption so I can go into Target or Home Depot or whatever store in the state of Florida and be able to shop from there. So those were just some of the things that I personally had to do, as well as like a W-9 form with the current year. So just some things, to add to that toolkit so that when you're ready to submit those not resumes, I'm sorry, when you're ready to submit those grant applications, those are some things to think about adding.
Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. And maybe next time we can, offer up this space so people want to highlight and share, they can do it too. But we appreciate it. And we got Sister Ruth, that's a veteran on this line too, and you, Taisha. So we're so thankful. We're so thankful. So without further ado, Tawana, I hand it back over to you.
Thank you, thank you,
Next.
thank you. And every time you do this, is like refreshes my mind. And I'm gonna be the first one to admit, like I still don't know my mission and vision without looking at it on the paper. So I gotta be ready for my elevator pitch. So next time we come on, you're gonna hold us accountable for sharing our mission and vision and getting ready for our 2 minute elevator pitch. Cause you gotta hold us accountable, Joey. Cause I'm gonna be slipping. If you don't hold me accountable, I'm gonna slip. So that's all I have to say about this. And just thank you all again. Thank you all so much. Taisha, I see I see everybody in the chat. Thank you all so much. We're just gonna talk about we're flipping to another subject if those wanna exit. Thank you all for being here. But now we're going to talk about another source of income, which is content creation for the content creators on social media. We're going to talk about that for a few minutes and just share some tips. Is nothing that's formal, is informal. So we're able to talk it out. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you are a content creator, everybody's not a content creator. I know that everybody's not crazy like me trying to fill all these tasks every week that they give and trying to get people to buy into you so you can make some money. So I'm going to share my experience and Those of you who don't want to be on, you could go ahead and hang up. But I'm gonna just share my experience because I said we're gonna do content creator talk after our Zoom on grant writing. So here we are, and we're gonna continue doing this series until we get more buy-in and more people to come together, because that's what it's all about on social media. Is like having those partners that come to good night. I was saying good night to the people saying good night in chat. Having those partners that come together to help support your mission and your vision, right? So a lot who's content creators? Let me see if I can see everybody's photo now. Yeah. Raise your, like, do something, put a little emoji if you're a content creator on social media. Okay, I see Violetta. Okay, I didn't know Violetta. Fred, Miss Joey. I know Miss Jackson don't do social media. All right, so this is what I have done. Like I try to connect. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I try to
Yeah.
connect with like-minded people on social media, because just like some people love grant writing, some people like social media, some people like both. So I went from grant writing to social media, right? Because that's what I'm trying to earn extra income. So I have now I'm up to like close to $100 every month of income off social media. You clapping, Miss Joey, but that's hard work, Miss Joey. I be crying. I be crying. It's so much you have to post. Anybody else make a few dollars off social media yet? Raise it up, just a few dollars. Cause I'm telling you, I started off with like $2. I started off with like $2. And I said, I'm not going to let this defeat me and people be posting how much they make on social media. So I said, one day I'm going to go from 2 to 10, and from 10 to 20, and from 20 to 30. And now I'm close to 100. So the goal by the end of this year, I want to be closer to 150 or $200 per month, because that 150 or $200 per month is going to pay my bill, right? It's going to pay a bill. It could pay my phone bill, which is $110 a month, or it could pay not even a light bill. Light bill so much now. It only probably could pay my phone and water bill like every 3 months. So the goal is to get with like-minded people. I follow groups that are content creators. So they have a group that's called, and you need to follow these groups if you want to increase. I'm going to give you the names. Let me go to this page now. Follow these groups, I'm telling you. And when you're needing those 50 followers a week, because on some of your tasks, you have a set of tasks. I have about 7 or 8 tasks that I have to complete every week. And that increases my engagement. Once you increase your engagement, you increase your cash flow. So I follow Content Creators Networking. They have 1 million members in that group. So when I'm short 30 followers for the week, because they want me to get 50 followers every week. So when I'm short, I go right in that group, follow. Like, I'm not ashamed to be in this group asking. I don't do it on my regular page, but I'll do it in this page because they're like-minded people. They're trying to get the same thing you're getting. So content creators networking is one group, and I want to give y'all this other group that I just started following. And it helps me to increase my engagement. And then the other group is Meta Check, META Check. Follow those public groups. Meta Check has 455,000 members, like half a million members. So follow those groups and get to posting. Like, you can't worry about who's getting tired of you posting or you doing too much or whatever like that. You can't worry about what others think. I used to worry about what they thought at first, but now, as long as I don't post during school hours, because I'm on somebody MDCPS job, I don't post during school hours. But as soon as I hit early in the morning or when I get off work, I post. I post, and I like to post in real time. Like, if I took pictures, and we didn't take pictures. Miss Jackson probably didn't take pictures tonight. But when I take pictures, like when I do these zooms, I even screenshot, like, of course, like, y'all don't know me like that, but we with the students, when I have the students, I'm saying some of y'all don't know me like that, so I will ask permission if I don't know you like that to post your picture. But you have to keep your content going. You are a content creator. You can't be creating content once a month. And I know it's a lot, especially when you have small children. Like I have my granddaughter, but she already know, Mama, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Come, take this picture, do this, do that. Post, continue to post. If you want to be a content creator, you have to post content. And you have to look at your metrics. Like look at, okay, this content give me more support and engagement, this type of content. And then the thing about it, when you become a creator, you be like, you'll see people start falling off. They don't like his stuff as much as they used to because they know you making a few dollars. But that's not your audience. You got to look at those people like, that's not my audience right there. Yeah, you could scroll past. Let me tell you something. Even when people scroll past my picture, do you know I still get paid? They don't know that. They don't know that. Because if I show you all a picture, I don't care if I don't know who it is, but long as you scroll past it, I'm getting paid. And they don't know that. And even on your story, when you sharing your stories, you get paid off of your stories, you get paid off of your reels, you get paid off of your photos, you get paid, especially when you get your followers up. That's another thing. You have to get your followers up. Because, say for instance, let me see how many followers I got right quick. And I'm gonna pause for some questions in a minute. I have 16,389 followers, right? And believe it or not, I had I had about 11,000 followers without me being a content creator. So by me being that way now, I'm getting more followers. So the people already follow me, which was a good thing. And what else I wanted to say? The followers, the likes, the stories. And I'm gonna go over my tasks, then I'll take my tasks for this week. I always check my tasks because I gotta make sure I'm completing my tasks. Hold on. My dashboard. I'm going to my dashboard, my weekly progress. I still got 72% of tasks remaining. So this week's task, I got to post 15 reels. They want me to do 15 different reels within 7 days. I have to post a story every day. I have to get 50 followers. I only have 3 followers so far this week. Followers start every Monday, okay? And they calculate. And then I have to reply to 50 people. That's why I get stuck because I got to sit there and reply 50 different times. And then they have me with a special channel, right? I could send a message on my channel. Some people follow me. I have yet to understand how people follow me on my channel, but I have 41 people following my channel. So I have to post on my channel once a week. And I'm gonna open up in case somebody else has something to share or had any questions. And then make sure I talk to you all about the subscribers next after we finish. Anybody want to share out of questions?
I want to
No?
ask what platform is it? Facebook or
I do
Instagram?
see, Miss Joy, you good at all of them, but I'm only doing. Listen, I can't. I promise you all,
I
I
ain't
can't
getting
keep
paid
up.
for nothing.
you you'll get paid for none of them, but at least you post on all of them. I post on Facebook. I'm talking about Facebook when I'm talking now. Instagram, my Facebook is connected to my Instagram. I just got a notification that you now can go live to get paid from Instagram, which I never be on Instagram. So it's because I set my Facebook up to post to my Instagram too. That's what they checking my metrics like that because I'm never on Instagram and TikTok. I post probably once a month on TikTok. So I'm talking about Facebook only. Now they say it's for the older people. I guess I'm old. Any other questions?
Can I jump in, please, with a few
Yes.
observations? Thank you. Okay, I've been doing this since 2013 to try to get people health care. And I went through all kind of stuff, the trolling, the failures, all kind of stuff, heartache, aggravation. But I do it on everything. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on X, I'm on Blue Sky, I am on Threads. Even TikTok, yes, TikTok. I did TikTok begrudgingly because Tawana and LaQuette were like, "Oh, you have to, you have to." I really didn't want to, but I did, and I actually enjoy it now because now sometimes when I'm having a bad day on Facebook or Insta or whatever, I can have a great day on TikTok, which it makes it up for it. So, you know, if you're comfortable with one platform and that's all you have the time for, you do that platform to the best of your ability. If you can multitask it, like a lot of the major organizations, they're nonprofits, they do have their flags on several spots. This way they can capture several different audiences. You have audiences that will refuse to do Facebook that may not see you because they are not comfortable with it. You'll have people that will straight be X/Twitter people. You'll have people that just, it's a comfort thing and it's a personal preference thing. I kind of likened it because I used to want people to follow me on every platform because different things, I could do different things. This is what I learned. If you can do different platforms, do them because you're going to reach different people that will see you. In other words, YouTube, I can't do my art, but I still put a video up there. I might put a video from someone else, but at least it's building the brand. Continue to build the brand, and that's how you build the brand. People see you. In other words, you can start small. Just do Facebook, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube, and that'd be enough. Plus, I have a blog too with a website. That's one thing. And in terms of the reach, Tawana, I have 600 followers on Instagram. At one point, I reached 13,000 followers, 30,000 views in 1 month. So even with a little bit, a lot can be done. And that's my inspiring word. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Fred. And Facebook tells you, like, my Facebook is now up to like 500,000 views every week. 500,000 people checking and viewing of stuff. So I'm gonna. That's why I say I can't do all of them because I can't. I don't have enough energy to be put in all of this. So I like to capture real life things that people could relate to. So I don't have like Fred health, gun violence. You already know what Fred mostly gonna talk about. I talk about everything. I talk about kid issues. Like I keep it a variety, but so it's up to you how you want your social media to be. So, because some days I want to be funny, some days I want to be serious, some days I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. Like, leave me alone. So they see, like, people pick up your personality off social media. They just pick up your personality, and even like it just helps out with so much. Let me tell you, and I want to stick to the topic, but I want to tell you how Facebook helped my mom. People at my mom's Jewish home where she's at right now, because she's in rehab, they notice what the work I do off social media and they go in there and they help my mama even more. So you never know what influence or impact you're gonna have. You never know. So that's why majority of the time, 99.9% of the time, my social media gonna always be positive. I don't share fights. I don't do any of that foolishness for likes. I'm not doing that because I'm against violence in itself anyway. Are there any other questions or anybody else want to say something? Okay, now I want to talk about subscriptions, right? Um, I currently have one, two, and that's a, of course, you want to always subscribe to yourself. Soon as you get that subscription button, invest in yourself. You set the price of how much people have to pay to follow you. I set my price at $3.99. So if you want to follow me, if you want to subscribe to me, you have to pay me $3.99 a month. So I'm at 3 subscriptions now. I got a lady, a guy, because it tells you who subscribe to you, because they pay you every month just to see your posts, just to be like support you in what you do. So that's another way that people who genuinely care about you, they could subscribe to you. They could, because some people ask, how can I help your organization? Subscribe to me. That'll help me out. because that comes in the check with what you make per month. So you got to think about all the options you have just by, because some of us gonna be on social media anyway. Like I enjoy Facebook, so I'm going to be on Facebook every single day while I get my work done too. I pause for the calls and I surf Facebook. And I think that's all I have for tonight. And if y'all have any questions or any feedback, I'm here. And most of y'all have my phone number anyway if you want to call me. Let's
Yeah,
work on this together.
Tawana and Joey, I want to jump in with a
Oh,
recommendation. I found this through my friend who's a great content creator, Rubia Garcia. You can both set up yourself something called Patreon, which is a pure pay site. You can use it to teach people, educate people, even do seminars. Patreon for you guys might be something to look into for extra income because you're set and ready to go. I'm probably eventually going to do it, but we got a few hurdles yet. But I'm going to recommend you two guys for Patreon. And also, there's something you can do, Tawana, that's easy and just like Facebook, and you get money from it. It's called Substack. It's for writers and content creators. Big people are on this, media people, all kind of people. And if they start seeing you, you're going to grow. I'm doing it little by little. So I'm saying I would recommend those two. And also follow my friend. You don't have to pay her, but follow my friend Rubia Garcia, which would be Rubia Garcia Esquire or Rubia Garcia. She has 600,000 followers and she's great at teaching stuff too on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Miss Akins.
yes.
Before we're done, can Miss Joy share her PowerPoint again? Not all the pages, but just some of the pages.
That's the first screen, the first slide.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Jackson. She's trying to take a picture, Miss Joey. If anybody don't want their picture anywhere, you just let me know. It's nothing for me to put a sticker over a crop. Because she is taking pictures. We keep a record of what we do with community collaboration exchange and any of our organizations. I think that is it for tonight. Anything else? Y'all have a good night, Miss Jackson. You want to pray us out?
Yes. Lord, we just thank you for another day. We thank you for this wonderful, wonderful grant writing workshop that Miss Joy put together and also the social media information, Lord. Just thank you for giving us information and keeping us abreast of what we need to do in order to move forward with your kingdom, with our organizations, Lord. We thank you and we love you and we ask that you bless each and every person on this line. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Good night, you all. We'll keep
Amen.
you informed on the
Amen.
next one, okay?
Okay.
Amen. Good night. And if y'all
Good
would
Amen.
please
job,
share
ladies.
the
Good.
PowerPoint, Tawana.
Yes.
Good job.
Amen. Great work,
Thank
guys.
you
Yes.
so much,
Proud of you.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you,
Good job,
Joey.
Miss
Bye.
Joey.
Good night, everyone. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone. Bye.
Great work,
Bye-bye.
everybody.